Tristan is a French name. Can you tell us why you have a French name, if you know it?
My parents like the name, so I don't think there was any French background. I think I probably have some French ancestors at some point. That's why the last name is so French.
Okay.
But besides that, nothing.
All right.
No specific French origins.
You've played for one of the best university in the US in terms of education, no? Stanford. Yeah. Can you tell us how did it happen?
My mom actually went to Stanford also. So I've been there a couple times and I love the school. It's an amazing campus. It's a really, really nice city too. I like Palo Alto a lot. And so when I was deciding on colleges, that was like always one of my top choices. And then, you know, when you make a college decision, you have a lot of factors, a lot of like important things that you consider. One of them is, you know, obviously the team environment. You know, you consider kind of the offers that are made, scholarships, how long you can stay, kind of that type of stuff. I always wanted to play pro at some point, so a lot of the colleges make offers about how many tournaments you can play and when you can leave and stuff. But Stanford wasn't necessarily the best in terms of those offers, but I think that it's such a good school and such a good degree to have, and I thought that it was such a good decision for, you know, the years that I was going to have after playing tennis, that that was really why I decided on that. Yeah.
And what was your position in the country in terms of like how many were you? What was your ranking?
Yeah, I was for my recruiting class. I was the top recruit on. I was top 5 for sure.
Okay.
I was up there.
Even though you were top 5, you didn't want to go straight on the tour?
I didn't. I always wanted to go to college just because you never know what's going to happen on the pro tour. I think it's a great life decision. I mean, playing pro tennis is very tough, especially if you start from zero, and especially if you start with zero maturity when you're 18 years old. So I think that college is a great decision for that. So no, I didn't. I wanted to have a little bit of time in college first, have a backup plan, you know, and that also I feel like now has helped a lot with taking a lot of pressure off too, because I know, you know, if something happens with my tennis career, you know, if I get really badly hurt, you know, if I don't have a passion anymore, then I have something else that I can do.
Right. I interviewed a lot of guys who've done college tennis. They partied a lot. Was it your case?
I mean,
did you have a life?
I definitely had a life. Yeah, it's definitely a lot more partying than the pro tour is for sure. I went out. I wasn't a lot compared to college normal students, but it was, you know, more than professional athletes do for sure.
Is your life now totally different since you are on tour playing Grand Slams?
Yeah, it's much different. Obviously at college you live with your friends. I live with normal students. I didn't live with athletes. You're around, you know, normal people for your whole life instead of being around pro athletes. So it's completely different. Yeah.
You've climbed over 1,200 spots in the ATP ranking in just over a year. What specific changes or improvement in your training or even mindset contributed to that rise?
Yeah. Well, right after I left school I left in March 2022. I was hurt for a while. I went to train in Argentina, where I had my team and everything. My coach and my trainers were there. I trained there for almost 2 months, maybe 6-7 weeks.
And where were you hurt?
And then I got hurt basically right after that. I had a bone edema in my 5th metatarsal on my left foot.
Okay.
So it wasn't a fracture, but it was in a bad spot. They said if I fractured it would have been surgery. So I was super careful and just kind of took a conservative approach, and I was off the court for 6 months. And then started training for a couple months, and then started playing tournaments in February. So I mean, kind of coming from that, like obviously I'd been in college for 2 years, which is very different. I mean, the really the biggest thing I think was having like hiring a good team. I mean, I had a really good coach, a really good trainers. I mean, like top level, like, you know, top 20 level trainers and coach, and just like really focusing on improving my game. Kind of as I played more, I got a lot of match experience, and just really focusing on kind of finding like my tactic and my style of game as a professional. You know, like really developing my weapons and knowing what my weaknesses are and how to mitigate those, kind of just maturing as a player and going from more of like, you know, a junior or like a college kind of tactic style to more of a professional game where you're thinking a little more, making better decisions, just kind of getting better in every single match. I think that happened, like, that was pretty quick for me to do that, but that was really the biggest changes. Yeah, just kind of becoming a more mentally, like, tactically better player.
How do you stay grounded around and focused with such rapid success? And next, what are your goals moving forward?
Yeah, I've had a lot of success. I mean, not like, you know, Alcaraz level, but like, I mean, it's been a good year. I just try to keep enjoying tennis as much as I possibly can. I think that's the big key, is just making sure that I keep my expectations low and work as hard as I can. High standards, low expectations is what I talk about with my team and my psychologist is big on that. And then just enjoying tennis. Like, it's my favorite activity in the world. I love playing. It's amazing that I get to do it for my job. So just staying like appreciative and grateful that I get to do something I love for my career every single day. That's the most important thing, whether it goes well or not.
How often do you work with your psychologist?
I talk to him before and after every single match. And then if I'm training, we probably have longer sessions, maybe once or twice a week. He's very good. I've been working with him since I was probably 12 or 13. It's been close to 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, he's really, really good. He's a Swedish psychologist. He played some college tennis in the US. So he's really tennis specific, and just kind of like knows a lot about, I mean, a lot of like, you know, stuff to kind of be in the right emotional space, specifically while you're on court. I have a separate psychologist that he's not a psychologist, like has like a psych degree, but he's like a mental coach, you know. So I speak with him a lot. He's very, very good.
And how come you started that early, that young?
It was just something that the coach I was working with at the time knew this guy.
Okay.
And he just thought he could help me out. I mean, it wasn't like, you know, I was having specific, you know, mental issues or emotional issues. Then it was just like being able to have routines and like tools to kind of be in a confident headspace while you're playing is crucial in tennis. Obviously, it's 95 or 90, even more than that. I think the coach I was working with at the time just wanted me to kind of start with that as soon as possible.
And do you think that thanks to that move, you know yourself 1,000 times better than if you haven't worked with that guy?
You know, the tools that I use on court, I'm extremely good at experience of using, and I think I have a lot of ways to feel confident, to feel good in bad situations. I think that I'm pretty good at that, especially the last couple of months.
Winning your first challenger title in 2024 is a significant milestone. How did this victory impact your confidence and strategy for future tournaments like Roland Garros, Wimbledon, US Open, major ones? Yeah,
that was great. I mean, obviously it wasn't like it was a 50K, like not a huge event, but I think when you win that many matches in a row, like you need to be like, you know, finding solutions always. You need to know like how you're winning points. You need to win multiple matches against different styles of players. Winning 5 matches in a row against, even if it's not against, you know, super highly ranked players, you know, you still kind of have to go through tough moments and figure it out. And so that is where you kind of get the confidence and bring that into bigger events and better players, and just getting confidence in your game style and how. So yeah, I mean, winning an event is, you know, first of all, it really doesn't happen that often, especially if you're playing high-level events. You know, you usually go home with a loss pretty much every week. But yeah, that's really where you take the confidence is in that area.
You faced and defeated high-caliber opponents like Michael Moe, Jack Sock. Can you share more about these matches and what you learned from them?
Yeah, Sock was my first challenger main draw win ever. that was kind of like, all right, you know, I was playing at 125 in Sarasota. Like, I beat Pui actually in qualies in the last round, so I really hadn't had any wins. I mean, it was my first challenger win. I hadn't beat anyone, so that was really like the start of, like, it really helped, you know, a lot of belief and kind of a lot of confidence, especially going into the next couple of weeks where I did well in Savannah. And then that was kind of a similar situation, but with hardcourt, because I hadn't really had any good wins at all on hardcourt. And the other thing about that one was that I was at Stanford. So that was really nice because my family was there, my friends were there. Like they saw me win that match. It was to get into the semis. So that one was really, really fun.
If you could change one thing about the world of professional tennis, what would it be and why?
The prize money structure.
Yeah.
I think that tennis players, I think there's no reason why there shouldn't be between 500 and 1,000 professional tennis players who are making money, men and women. Tennis is the fourth most watched sport in the world. There's plenty of money in it. It's just not going to the players. So I think that's for sure what I would change. I mean, the fact that by viewers, fourth most popular sport in the world, there are maybe like 300 people who are actually making money, men and women, like total. I think that's crazy. I mean, I think there's no other major sport that's like that in the world.
What's the craziest thing that happened to you while you were on tour?
Craziest thing on tour. I was playing at Futures in India, and I was staying with my coach, the other player, actually, an Argentinian guy. This was in 2019. And I think we had a match the next day, and it was like 3 a.m. And I wake up to my roommate. He's getting up and he's like opening the door and walking outside. I'm like, dude, like, what are you doing? I don't hear any response. I'm like, Marco, like, bro, like, you okay? He gets up, walks outside, and so I get up and go after him. And so at this point, he's obviously sleepwalking. Like, I have no idea. You know what I mean? Like, he's no response whatsoever. So he walks outside, and I go up and follow him, and he's doing sprints back and forth on the lawn right outside the hotel room. And I kept trying to get his attention, and Marco, like, what are you doing, man? Nothing. And obviously you're not supposed to wake up a sleepwalker, so I was like, all right, there's nothing I can do. And it was 3 a.m. I had a match the next day, so I was like, I'm going back to bed. So I went inside, I went back to bed, and he came back in probably 15 minutes later.
And same thing, but in your global life.
In my general life,
yeah.
The craziest experience in my regular life was taking mushrooms, I think.
Is what?
Taking mushrooms. Yeah. Yeah, I took, my mom actually works at a psychedelics, it's called MAPS, it's like a psychedelics research nonprofit. And so she was like, yeah, I think this would help you a lot. Like, you should try it. I mean, it's not that crazy to like do mushrooms, but I think it was like for me personally, the actual experience of that is probably the craziest.
Can you explain us?
I mean, it's just like, no, not really. You just have to try it yourself, I think.
Okay.
But no, you just feel, I mean, you just kind of have like, it's tough to experience. It's tough to explain.
Colors.
I mean, it was, yeah, colors, things are moving around. It was, I mean, some euphoria, just crazy euphoria, some just crazy depression, sadness, like just very like heightened emotions, like, but yeah, colors, things are moving around. But yeah, it was a pretty transformational thing, I think. I feel very different on court now than I did before.
Thanks to mushrooms.
Yeah, I think I'm enjoying it a lot more. I'm happier to be playing. I think that my relationships on and off court are stronger. It was a really helpful thing to me. Yeah, I think that, I mean, like, you know, crazy experience like that thing I've done, but I think like I genuinely would recommend that most people try it in their lives at some point. I think it was like, there are things that, I don't know, like there are things that you like know logically about yourself maybe, that, you know, you can just say, oh, you know, I'm like this, or this is true. But like, if you like having an experience like that really makes you like feel them, like, and really truly understand them. And so that's kind of like what happened, and just kind of, yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, you can really see it, like, between before and after, like, how I am on court. It's a pretty drastic difference, I think.
Oh man, I'm gonna try tonight.
Yeah, go try tonight. Go find some stuff.
All right, so to finish, some specific questions about FANtium. What motivated you to choose FANtium as a platform to finance your career and build a community of supporters?
Yeah, well, obviously the principal reason was because, I mean, I was looking for funding. So yeah, I thought it was just a really cool way to kind of get people involved in your career, and just kind of like have that be beneficial to me as well. Tennis is, I mean, all individual sports, but tennis, particularly because of the prize money structure. I mean, it's, you know, you compete directly against someone else. There's no one who wants the best for you besides yourself and your family, basically. Like, there's no organization who's pushing for you to do well. You know what I mean? You play for a team sport and you have your team, and that's an organization whose interests are directly aligned with yours. If you do well, they do well. That's not the case for tennis. There's no one. So I think that, like, having a platform where you have a group of people who, you know, have their interests directly aligned with yours, I think it kind of is like a really important thing for the athlete to kind of feel that. So yeah.
How has the support from your FANtium backers influenced your performance and mindset on court, if it's the case?
Yeah, I think in that way, just knowing that there are people out there who believe in you, that kind of helps with the confidence a lot. That's huge. You know what I mean? You can't, like, pretty much all tennis players can't say that, you know. So that's really cool.
And before FANtium, were your parents mainly paying for your career?
Yeah. I had some help from the USTA as well, a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, it was mostly my parents.
What advice would you give to young athletes considering using FANtium or other crowdfunding platforms to support their sport careers?
I would say that it's something that you should try for sure. Yeah, I think that, yeah, like I said, having someone behind you who you know believes in you, that is really confidence inspiring. That helps a lot. I think advice to someone who wants to join the platform.
Thank you very much, Tristan.
Thank you.
Wish you the best for the rest of the season, and see you another time.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.